intended the single to be a joke and not meant to disrespect anybody. Nevertheless, a number of rappers mentioned on the song responded on record. In August 1999, Jay-Z was already a multi-platinum artist with Billboard-topping singles such as Hard Knock Life. He was established. 50 Cent was not. So, when 50 dropped a song talking about robbing Jay-Z, people paid attention. Jay-Z responded in a very public way. At Summer Jam in 1999, Jay-Z went on stage and rapped a line dismissing 50 Cent. A reworked version also appeared on It's Hot, Some Like It Hot off Jay-Z's Volume 3 album, which was released in December 1999. It was the most public rebuttal to 50 Cent's controversial record. But here's the thing most people do not know. As Jay-Z explained later in a radio interview, he enjoyed How to Rob and told 50 Cent so backstage at Summer Jam before he proceeded to diss him in front of thousands. In an interview, 50 Cent claims that Jay-Z told him he loved the song and that Jay asked permission to respond before he did. So Jay-Z asked permission to respond. 50 Cent said, "Go ahead," and Jay-Z went on stage and did it. That is how this rivalry started, with mutual respect. 50 even credited Jay-Z's rebuttal with elevating his career. When he responded, "I was complimented," he told Rolling Stone in 2003. He wouldn't say nothing back to somebody he didn't think was hot. "I never went to radio until after he said that about me. I don't know if my career would be where it's at if he didn't respond." That is 50 Cent giving Jay-Z credit for making him relevant. That is a significant admission from a man who does not hand out credit freely. By 2003, 50 Cent and Jay-Z's rivalry had morphed from undisputed champion versus up-and-coming challenger to what felt more like two equals. After the Queens, New York native dropped his smash hit In Da Club and blockbuster debut album Get Rich or Die Tryin', catapulting him to global stardom. The move eventually led to the 2003 release of Get Rich or Die Tryin', the best-selling album of 2003, and 12 million copies were sold worldwide by the end of the year. 50 Cent was no longer an up-and-comer. He was the biggest rapper on the planet. So Jay-Z made a strategic move. Jay-Z seemingly decided to keep his enemies closer by hitting the road with 50 Cent on the Rock the Mic tour in 2003. The pair even freestyled together in a Reebok commercial. To promote their respective sneaker collaborations with the sports giant, both rappers inked sneaker deals with Reebok, helping drive an 11% revenue increase for the company that year. The shows ran smoothly, and a joint Reebok commercial featuring both artists showcased a rare moment of unity. It remains one of the only times they appeared together on camera performing. But even sharing a stage and a brand deal did not stop the competition. The competitive fire was not snuffed out, as 50 later bragged about his G-Unit Reebok shoes outselling Jay's S. Carter kicked 6-1. Jay-Z also dropped out of the extended run of their joint tour, which coincided with his retirement plans at the time. That is how it went. They would come together, pretend everything was fine, and then somebody would throw a jab. The cycle repeated itself for years. 50 Cent made it clear years later that despite the professionalism between them, he and Jay-Z would never be friends. "We don't have those kinds of relationships," he told MTV News in 2011. So even when they were on the same tour and doing the same brand deal, 50 Cent had no illusions about their relationship. They were not friends, they were competitors. And that competition would only get more intense. By 2007, the dynamics between 50 Cent and Jay-Z had shifted again. 50 was preparing to release his third studio album, Curtis, and he was in a public sales battle with Kanye West. That battle dominated hip-hop for months, but Jay-Z was still lurking in the background. By 2007, during the Screamfest tour headlined by T.I. and Kiara, 50 was preparing to release Curtis opposite Kanye West's Graduation. At the Madison Square Garden show, Jay appeared alongside Kanye, Diddy, and Swizz Beatz until 50 suddenly walked across the stage, seemingly trolling the moment. 50 Cent literally walked onto a stage where Jay-Z was performing and crashed the set. 50 Cent reposted a video of himself crashing Jay-Z's performance with Kanye West and T.I. in 2007. "This is why they say I only had one album," he captioned the clip. "I made them so uncomfortable. I'm working on being a better person. Lol." That is 50 Cent acknowledging that he was disruptive and enjoying it. He was not apologizing. He was bragging about it years later. The pair's only other musical collaboration came 4 years later when Jay-Z jumped on the remix of 50 Cent's 2007 hit I Get Money alongside another rapper. But once again, the shots continued as Jay-Z reminded 50 that the Big Apple still belongs to him. Even on a collaboration, they were competing. Jay-Z used the remix to reassert his dominance over New York. 50 Cent used it to show he could get Jay-Z on his track. In a 2009 interview with Rolling Stone, 50 Cent said said that Jay-Z thinks he's expletive Jesus. The rivalry flared up again in 2009 when 50 accused Jay of having a king complex. He also criticized Jay's Kingdom Come album, calling it golf course music. That golf course music line is one of the most memorable disses 50 Cent ever threw at Jay-Z. It was his way of saying Jay-Z had gone soft, that he had moved so far from the streets that his music sounded like it was made for a country club. Whether you agree with that assessment or not, it landed. People talked about it for months. To hear 50 tell it, Jay-Z never posed any real competition to him when he was at the height of his power. There ain't never been no 50 Cent Jay-Z conversations questioning whether there was a competition between the two of them, he told Tim Westwood in 2009. It's a huge difference in energy internationally in 50 Cent and Jay-Z. His largest selling record sold 430-something thousand copies. My largest selling records, plural, 2 of them sold 5 million. That's Get Rich or Die Tryin' and The Massacre. 50 Cent was making a sales argument. He was saying that in terms of raw album sales, Jay-Z could not compete with him at his peak. And on the numbers, he had a point, at least in terms of first-week sales during that era. But Jay-Z's catalog is deeper, and his total sales are higher over the course of his career. Then the Super Bowl situation happened. Jackson opened up about his performance at the 2022 Super Bowl halftime show with Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, and Mary J. Blige. The Many Men rapper appeared as a surprise guest, but he also accused Jay-Z's Roc Nation of trying to leave him out of the performance. Roc Nation didn't want me there, Jackson said. Yeah, they didn't want me there. Eminem wouldn't do it without me. That's how I ended up on the show, because he was not coming if I didn't do it. Let that sit for a moment. 50 Cent claims that Jay-Z's Roc Nation, the company that co-produces the Super Bowl halftime show, tried to block him from performing. And the only reason he got on that stage was because Eminem refused to do it without him. When that happens, you go, damn. So you just lost Eminem because you didn't bring 50? Damn. All right, bring 50 then. But if it was up to them, they would not have me there. That is a significant accusation. If true, it means Jay-Z used his business position to try to keep 50 Cent off one of the biggest stages in the world. And it means Eminem had to leverage his own star power to force the issue. During an interview at the time, 50 Cent reportedly said that no one really knew who Jay-Z was before the rapper married Beyoncé. That is another shot, another jab. 50 Cent was saying Jay-Z's cultural relevance expanded because of his marriage, not just his music. 50 Cent said during his interview with MTV News that he has a business relationship with Jay-Z. It's not like we have something against each other to make us enemies, he said. Me and Jay will use each other repeatedly for energy. That line is telling. We will use each other repeatedly for energy. That is 50 Cent, admitting that the rivalry serves both of them. It keeps them both in the conversation. It generates attention. And in hip-hop, attention is currency. In December 2024, things escalated to a new level. Jay-Z, also known as Sean Carter, was accused in a lawsuit filed on December 8, 2024, of assaulting a 13-year-old girl after an award show in 2000. The lawsuit, initially filed in October 2024 against another rapper alone, was refiled in New York's Southern District Federal Court to include Jay-Z. The plaintiff in the case is identified as an anonymous Jane Doe. Jay-Z denied the allegations. Following the allegation against him, Jay-Z issued a denial, stating, "My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims, and explain the cruelty and greed of people." Earlier in 2024, Jay-Z was hit with a sexual assault lawsuit that was later dropped. The Jane Doe who filed the $20 million lawsuit later said that she would remain anonymous out of fear for her safety and mental health. 50 Cent wasted no time reacting. 50 Cent appeared to make his feelings on Jay-Z apparent in December 2024, days after Jay-Z was accused in the civil lawsuit. The Empire State of Mind musician attended the Mufasa movie premiere alongside wife Beyoncé and daughter Blue Ivy Carter. 50 Cent posted on Instagram, Jay said, "They said I raped a kid. Everybody get dressed. We going to see Mufasa lol," in a post that was deleted shortly after. That post was deleted, but not before the entire internet saw it, and it set the tone for what was coming. Following the Jay-Z accusation, 50 Cent made a joke about the Super Bowl halftime show. "Okay, I don't know what's going on, but are we going to still have the Super Bowl? I'm just asking for a friend," 50 Cent posted via X. He further clarified that he was just asking for the sake of Kendrick Lamar, who was set to perform. 50 Cent was asking whether Jay-Z's legal situation would affect the Super Bowl. It was a pointed question designed to embarrass Jay-Z and remind everyone that Roc Nation ran the halftime show. Addressing his rivalry with Jay-Z, 50 Cent clarified that there is no animosity between them. It's just being competitive, he said, explaining that their interactions are rooted in competition rather than real conflict. That is the interesting part. 50 Cent says there is no real beef. He says it is just competition. But the things he posts and the things he says in interviews tell a different story. Or maybe they tell the same story, that for 50 Cent, competition is beef and beef is competition. There is no difference. Then came the Netflix documentary, the release of Diddy, The Reckoning. The Netflix docuseries executive produced by 50 Cent set off a new round of scrutiny and reopened long-standing tensions across the hip-hop world. Though Jay-Z has not commented publicly on the series or on 50 Cent directly, the document's arrival stirred broader speculation about old rivalries resurfacing. Before the documentary even aired, 50 Cent was trolling Jay-Z about it. In a post shared on social media, 50 Cent joked about Jay-Z's reaction to not being featured in the Netflix documentary, alongside a video that showed Jay-Z's face deep-faked onto Lionel Richie's You Are music video. 50 Cent cracked a joke about how Jay-Z wasn't featured in The Reckoning. This, the message Jay-Z sent me when he realized he's not in the doc, he wrote alongside the clip. That was 50 Cent, implying that Jay-Z was relieved to not be in the documentary. But the joke had a second meaning, that Jay-Z should have been in it. After trying to tear down one rival, it seems as if 50 wasn't done yet, with his followers on social media under the impression that Jay-Z could be his next target. Earlier that year, 50 Cent posted a photo of Jay-Z's face and claimed the decorated rapper and businessman was laying low until legal issues blew over. He made the post after Roc Nation canceled their annual brunch event during Grammy weekend earlier that year. 50 Cent was connecting dots, or at least suggesting the public should connect them. Roc Nation cancels their Grammy brunch. 50 Cent posts about it. Jay-Z goes to a movie premiere after being accused in a lawsuit. 50 Cent posts about it. Jay-Z's name shows up in the Epstein files. 50 Cent announces a documentary. It is a pattern. Every time something happens involving Jay-Z, 50 Cent is there to amplify it. So, here we are in 2026, and the situation has reached its peak. The Department of Justice dropped a massive set of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein in late January 2026. This release, part of the Epstein Files Transparency Act, includes over 3 million pages, along with thousands of videos and images from the ongoing investigations into the late financier's crimes. Jay-Z enters the picture through a specific FBI intake form from July 2019. An anonymous caller described an incident from around 1996, claiming she was abducted, drugged, and later found herself in a room with Weinstein and Jay-Z. But the context around this mention is critical. These details come straight from public hotline submissions, not from Epstein's personal logs, flight records, or verified evidence. The DOJ has stressed that these files can include unproven or even false information, as they are raw intakes without follow-up investigations leading to charges. The alleged victim's name was redacted, and the document itself notes that the information was unverified. No charges were filed, and no proof has been presented linking Jay-Z to any criminal activity. In 1996, Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z, had just released his debut album, Reasonable Doubt, and was not yet the global celebrity associated with elite social circles that Epstein frequented. That is a factual point. In 1996, Jay-Z was a new rapper from Brooklyn who had just put out his first album on an independent label. The idea that he was running in the same circles as Jeffrey Epstein and Harvey Weinstein at that point raises questions about the credibility of the claim. Upon forensic review of the official flight logs released by the court, Sean Carter's name does not appear on the manifest associated with Epstein's documented trips. While many celebrities, including former presidents and royalty, were confirmed passengers, Jay-Z remains absent from the verified judicial records regarding these flights. Being in the book indicates that Epstein or his staff had a person's contact details. It does not prove a meeting occurred, nor does it suggest a criminal conspiracy. There has been no verified evidence produced in court that Jay-Z was a primary contact or a frequent collaborator in Epstein's personal or professional life. It is important to note that Carter has not been charged with any crimes related to Epstein, and no publicly filed indictment, plea agreement, or other filing in the Southern District of New York docket names him as a defendant or co-conspirator. Reviews of the primary criminal case file, including those filed before Epstein's death, show no reference to Carter with regard to any charges. But that has not stopped the fallout. Since the information was released at the end of January, Beyoncé has lost around 200,000 Instagram followers after her husband Jay-Z was named in documents tied to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Neither of the couple has responded to the allegations, and 50 Cent, he is still going. 50 Cent reacted on Instagram to reports of Jay-Z's name appearing in the documents and hinted at the possibility of producing a documentary exploring a potential connection. Now, the question everyone is asking is, will 50 Cent actually make this documentary? Observers note that while 50 Cent's comment teases a high-impact project, confirmed production plans have not been announced. But the threat alone is enough. The fact that 50 Cent has already produced one major Netflix documentary and is now talking about doing another one, this time targeting Jay-Z, has changed the dynamic between these two forever. Whether the revived chatter signals a meaningful escalation or simply another flare-up in an era of performative online feuds remains uncertain. Still, 50 Cent's steady stream of pointed posts has kept the conversation alive, ensuring that the disputes surrounding the documentary continue to orbit him. Jay seems uninterested in engaging. 50 thrives on confrontation. Their feud feels more like a one-sided campaign driven by 50's relentless trolling. That is the reality of this situation. Jay-Z has said nothing. He has not responded to 50 Cent's Instagram posts. He has not responded to the documentary tease. He has not responded to any of it publicly. His strategy, as it has been for most of the last 2 decades, is silence. 50 Cent, on the other hand, feeds on this. He posts, he trolls, he teases, he drops hints, he announces projects, and then he waits for the reaction. It is a strategy that has worked for him throughout his entire career, from How to Rob in 1999 to the documentary tease in 2026. And now, in March 2026, the situation has gotten even more complex. A social media post by Rep. Nancy Mace confirms that Sean Carter is among those the government is eyeing in connection with the ever-expanding Jeffrey Epstein files investigation. On March 3rd, Rep. Mace posted a statement asserting that recently reviewed material in connection with the federal Epstein investigation referenced Carter by name. It is important to note that Carter has not been charged with any crimes related to Epstein, and no publicly filed indictment, plea agreement, or other filing in the Southern District of New York docket names him as a defendant or co-conspirator. So where does this end? Nobody knows. What we do know is that 50 Cent and Jay-Z have been going at it for over 25 years. From How to Rob to the Rock the Mic tour, from the Reebok deal to the Super Bowl, from social media trolling to documentary threats, this is one of the longest, most layered rivalries in hip-hop history. For 50 Cent, whose career has often played out under the glare of public conflict, the renewed attention feels like another chapter in a well-worn saga. Jay-Z has built an empire. He is a billionaire. He runs Roc Nation. He co-produces the Super Bowl halftime show. He is married to one of the biggest entertainers on the planet. He has insulated himself with wealth and power and corporate partnerships. 50 Cent has built something different. He is a TV mogul. He produces hit shows. He produces documentaries. And he still wakes up every morning looking for someone to troll. That is his gift and his weapon. The documentary tease may turn into a real project or it may not. But the damage is done. 50 Cent has put Jay-Z on notice. He has told the world that he is watching, that he is paying attention, and that he has the platform and the resources to make it public. Whether Jay-Z responds or continues to stay silent, the conversation has shifted. 50 Cent made sure of that with a single Instagram post. And that is where things stand. 2 New York rappers who started trading bars in 1999 are now trading shots in the era of documentaries and federal investigations. The game has changed, but the rivalry has not. It has just evolved. And if 50 Cent has his way, the next chapter will be streaming on your television.